Okay, I'm here in Lincoln, Arkansas at the library, and I just want to show a few pictures here of some historical significance. This is what the 49ers California Gold Seekers, this is what their wagon train looked like, similar to this, and they would have passed through Fort Smith, and there's a historical marker, 5,000 strong. So that's what the 49ers wagon train looked like, a picture of that. And also here's a picture of Evansville. I think this picture was in 1914. And there's Evansville used to be kind of like a old outlaw haven of sorts, I guess. This is John Latta, and he was the guy that homesteaded Vineyard. And it's one of these buildings that are still in existence that was standing there, or this is what the buildings would have looked like when the Bell Route came through and disbanded into Indian Territory. They relocated these buildings to, what was the name of that battlefield? I keep forgetting the name of that battlefield. Prairie Grove battlefield, which is just east here of Lincoln. And so here is the account. This is the layout of Vineyard, of where everything was located, which is all, none of this is standing today, and it's all on private property. And this book gives an account of the Ellen Richardson story. Evansville was where the Indians was turned loose when they were moved from the Atlantic coast. It was thought at that time to be the Indian Territory west of the Arkansas line. And during all this time, the country was being overrun by outlaws of the worst kind from all parts of the world, from all parts of the West. They built groceries on the line, half in Arkansas, half in Indian Territory, and if an officer from Arkansas came to arrest them, they just stepped to the other side of the room and vice versa. Murders and killings were the common thing. They happened somewhere almost every night. Settlers were called to their doors and knifed, or if their homes were at some distance from any others, they were shot down. Gold for pay of the Indians came up to Evansville in kegs and could lay around at the Army headquarters without fear of robbery. But as soon as it was in the hands of the Indians, the outlaws and grocerymen got them drunk, took it away from them in card games, or simply knocked them in the head or murdered them for it. And so a vigilante committee of 36 prominent citizens was finally elected to take the place of the courts and the officers and to restore law and order. Your grandfather, John Latta, was one of them. Each committee man had 10 settlers under him. These included almost every trustworthy settler in the vicinity. They caught, tried, and hung a number of bad men before anything like peace prevailed in the locality. And so that's kind of a history of the Lord's Vineyard. It was an outlaw haven of sorts, and there was all kinds of things that occurred here. And of course, it also has the Jesse James family in this area, and there was a story of Frank James getting into a shootout there in Evansville, present-day Evansville. Also in Lee's Creek, where the natural dam is, there's a story of a 1797 Spanish gold treasure that's been hidden in that creek somewhere, and it's been looked for over the years. And in the 1930s, the landmarks were rediscovered, and people began looking for it. John Jumper and his family worked in the area and once lived along Lee's Creek where that gold was, and supposedly some people have seen the landmarks that describe what the Spanish soldiers said where they hid the gold, but the gold has never been found. And if it's placer gold, it'd be one of the largest placer deposits in the state of Oklahoma. or Arkansas, whichever side it is on. And so that's interesting. A lot of interesting history here. I've been going through all of these history books and reports and just reading about the history here in this area. And it's fascinating. A lot of interesting information, a lot of activity occurred in this area. So I'm getting ready to head over now to Westville, Oklahoma, and see the grave of Jesse Bushyhead.